January 1st, 2025. I'm so happy it is. I'm finally going to do my first podcast for 2025. The Japanese 1958 movie H-Man. The H-Man, yeah. I haven't seen this movie in many years, so let's get started. It's pretty short. It's like 78 minutes long. So hold on. Toho Scope. Hell yeah. My first Japanese movie of the year. I haven't seen this movie in so long. I might do the original Mothra, but I'm not going to do it this month. Because Mothra has her own trilogy, so. The H-Man stands for hydrogen. You know, the H-bomb. One of the deadliest weapons ever put on Earth. Yeah, I had a good New Year's Eve. I did my video. You guys saw it. And this is my first podcast for the year. Yeah, this is a really short movie. It's about an hour and 18 minutes, so it's not almost 2 hours like my last podcast, Running Scared. There it is. There's the subtitle, The H-Man. I can't read any of that because, again, I'm not Japanese. They look like symbols. Happy New Year to heterosexual guy. I'm glad 2024 is over. Yes, because this year is shorter already. It's not a leap year, so there's not an extra day. And there's better movies coming out this year. I can feel it. And also, I'm not seeing anything uncomfortable on streaming this year on to watch. Like, Bad Batch is over. I don't have to watch. There's no Acolyte this year. Shows that I've been looking forward to are coming back, like Avatar, Percy Jackson, The Last of Us. A lot of these shows are coming back that I want to see. And Deal or No Deal Island's returning next week, so I'm good. I'm good. The theater has nothing to watch, this month, but in February we get Captain America, so I'm good. There's no way this year is going to be any worse than last year, because last year was just, it was a lot. Let me tell you, that pain I felt in my mouth was one of the worst things that happened to me last year, and that's the past, this is the present. Let's enjoy the present while we still can. Also, my birthday's in a couple of days, so I'll do a video for that day too. Rain. It was raining last night. I didn't get wet though. I got home before the rain fell. Yeah, it's been years since I've seen this movie. I don't remember a thing about it. It's not a kaiju movie because Mothra is a kaiju movie. This is more like a sci-fi drama than a kaiju movie. Good evening. Are you waiting for some? I'm not going to read the whole of the subtitles because I this isn't a translation video. This is a commentary. There's some familiar faces here from the Toho movies that I've seen since I was a kid because I saw these movies when I was a kid. I saw the original Godzilla as a kid. I saw uh, Monster Zero. I saw Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster. I saw Son of Godzilla, Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, etc. And of course, Super Sentai, aka Power Rangers. I saw that when I was 8, so that's why I love Asian culture so much now as an adult. Even though this is an Asian month, I have plenty of movies I can do. Misaki. These are the foreign movies I can watch. Those pretentious like art house dramas that want to win that are fishing for an Oscar. Those are not for me because they're boring. There's nothing happening. It's just people talking and suffering. That's about it. Here, there's some spectacle to it. So it's a new year. I want to do something different. I haven't done a subtitle movie yet. No, not in the past 5 or 6 years. Did Super Raya do the effects for this? I think he did. Um, Ishiro Honda he directed this, so because he didn't do Godzilla Raids Again, he was doing this one. Yeah, Super Riot did the effects for this. Because I was so bored last year when I saw Ultra Q. Nothing happens. The monsters are secondary characters in their own show. Yeah, Japanese people speak very fast. He's a good director. Yeah, he was, Spidey. One of the best Japanese directors. Him and Miyazaki are two of the best. Because their movies, entertain me. Even when they have a message behind it. Just like good old days. Well, I never saw these movies subtitled as a kid because I couldn't read subtitles when I was a kid in the 80s. Yeah, that's Akihiro Murata from the original Godzilla. Mr. Gold. That's not a Japanese name. Probably a code name. This is a good movie, yeah. Well, for its time. I still prefer the Godzilla films. Mm-hmm. So far, we're 7 minutes in. The Godzilla films are better. Yeah, they are because they have the monsters. I'm doing Gamera tomorrow. The original Gamera. Not the sequels. There's too many of them, and I don't want to be here all day. I'll do one sequel from the 90s. This is similar to the scene in Ghidorah that you had in Monster, where when they're questioning the fishermen. I remember. See, I have a photographic memory, guys. Plus, if I see these movies, there's no accents here. They're speaking Japanese. That's it. There's no dub where somebody sounds British or something. Now, that's stupid. I don't know why they would dub over an Asian movie with Brits and Welsh people voicing the people. I'm like, it sounds off-putting. Sorry. Careful. I started the podcast a little bit early because, I had to sleep. Last night they were shooting fireworks like crazy. It woke up my dog. She was very scared. She's prone to panicking, especially when she hears loud noises outside. There's a girl. Asian girls have beautiful hair, dark hair. Yeah, this is the perfect movie to start 2025. I haven't seen it in years and I don't remember a thing. Just some of the effects. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. See a dress. That doesn't hurt. At least the day is half done already. It's already 12 o'clock here. Hold on. The 10th of the month? Yeah, I've heard that before. Yeah, it's a slow start. That's why some people probably would think this movie's too slow, but it's not 2.5 hours. I can say that. Shoko didn't want to waste a lot of time. Because in Japan, they don't like to waste time explaining things like, in American films or other films, like British films. There's way too much talking. And also, there's a lot of exposition and flashbacks and all that, which waste a lot of time. Here's the club scene. Yeah, baby. Dancers. This was fun. I haven't seen this movie in so long. I forgot about these scenes. See, I can make a decision. I choose the movie, I pop it in the DVD player, or I stream it and I get going. There's no thinking. I don't have to think twice about it. I couldn't do Since You've Been Gone because the disc was massacred, so I had to throw the disc out. Same thing with Ted 2. I couldn't see it because, yeah, the disc was in pretty bad shape. So I'll just stream it on Hulu. It's still there. This is my year for taking risks. Mmm, beautiful girl. That's not her voice. She's dubbed over because that's a white woman's voice. Because that sounds nothing like her. I'm like, she's a Japanese girl. Why does she have a white voice? And yes, this is in the dubbed version too. I want to talk to you about Misaki. See, yeah, because she's dubbed over. It's like in The Greatest Showman, Zac Efron singing and Hugh Jackman singing, but not Rebecca Ferguson is not a singer, so they dub her over. I'm like, Rebecca Ferguson's not a singer. I've never heard her sing in any movie I've seen her in. Like I said, this is not a kaiju movie. If people went into this movie saying, "Hey, I want to see some effects," yeah, once the H band shows up, yeah, then the effects kick in. It's a good performance. It's just not her voice. Now back to Japanese. It's gorgeous Asian girls, man. That's not something you need to translate for me. Beauty is everywhere. I could use this bottle one more time and then change it tomorrow. I don't want to waste any resources in the new year. Everything that I do, I got to make sure I use it to the fullest potential. Whether it be my medication, for my mouth, or because I'm not on medication. If you're like, oh, you take your Ritalin, no, I don't take that for my ADHD. I just, breathe or do some breathing exercises to calm down, or take a nice long walk. I don't believe in taking Ritalin. I don't want to. That's a tranquilizer. I don't need that. This movie's nice and calm. I'll be calm. Hello, beautiful girl. It's more like a sci-fi crime drama. Yeah, radioactive emissions from nuclear bombs. I know. Strontium 90, cesium 137, plutonium. Mm-hmm. This is a hard box set to get because it's a Toho collection, and those are extremely rare to find in the wild. That's why I had to get them on Amazon because they have nearly everything I want of physical media wise. I got one more thing coming in the mail, hopefully either today or tomorrow, because it got delayed because of the rain and the holiday. We're almost 20 minutes in. Bikini Atoll or Christmas Eve. Hmm. Because there's movies that are much longer than this that there's way too much talking. It's like Oppenheimer. People said it's a masterpiece. I'm like, it's just a bunch of people talking. It's like this movie, but it's like twice as long for no reason except because Nolan can't make a short movie anymore. Everything's got to be 2.5 hours or 3 hours long. And I'm like, yeah, that's too much for me. Not seen any 3 hour movies in January. It's just too long. Gotcha. Inspector Gadget? No, it's not him. I'm kidding. Toe's not afraid of getting dark sometimes because they did the original Godzilla, and that's one of the darkest movies they ever made. Yikes. Yeah, because Shiro Honda usually directs movies that are pretty dark most of the time. Because even the original Rodan, both of them die. So both Rodans die in a fire. See? Arai. Footprints. Yeah, Misaki is the focus of the movie. Shadow. Also, the English dub doesn't have any like white people, in filler scenes like they did in some of the other Godzilla movies. This just goes right to the point. Chikako Arai. Yeah, that's her name, Chikako. Yeah, there's no jokes in this movie. It's dead serious. 25 minutes in so far. Hmm. Yep, a hospital scene. That's from the original Godzilla too. But this movie's in color. So a boat scene. Of course, that happens in a lot of monster movies too. My foot fell asleep. Because this is a little bit too slow to see in the month of May, so I'll stick with Tokusatsu shows and some of the other Gamera movies. If I get the box set of Gamera, I could rewatch the sequels, but only with the commentary because I saw those movies last year and a lot of them were just so slow for a kaiju film, especially Virus and Zegra and Super Monster is one of the worst things I've ever seen. I had to skip half the stock footage so it could end early because even the Japanese version sucks for that one because it's stock footage galore, and that's never good in a monster movie. This movie doesn't have stock footage mostly. So they got a Japanese calendar there. In 4 weeks from today is the Lunar New Year, aka Chinese New Year. Feet. Oh no. Boy. Hmm. What's funny? There's nothing funny about it. What's this? They left this place a mess. That's not funny, dude. This is not a comedy. This movie's dead serious. Because Shiro Honda doesn't do a lot of comedies. He's mostly a very serious director. It's like Miyazaki. He doesn't put jokes in his animated movies. He's like, he left his clothes, and like that's not funny. Captain's room. This is a slow burn, but so was Alien, and it's a classic. The original. I haven't seen Romulus because I heard it was a mixed bag. Like it's got great effects and it's got atmosphere and it's isolated, but they put some forced fan service from the other films, which I don't think is needed. You don't need to do fan service in Alien. That's not what we need, guys. Do your own thing. You know, when Spider-Man Homecoming came out, it didn't have to remind me of the Tobey Maguire movies or the Amazing Spider-Man. It did its own thing, despite there's the effects so far. A gooey substance. It looks like hair gel. It's a pretty decent effect for slime or whatever it is. At least Subaraya did some effects for something different. I still prefer this Ultra Q because at least something's happening. There's some beautiful women in it too, so, and they have enough time because an episode of that show was like 25 minutes, and they 25 minutes that short, and yet they did way too little. Yep, got him. This came out the same year as The Blob, the original Blob from 1958. Yep, it evaporates people. Yeah, no one's laughing now. There, that's a good the effect of the movie. 32 minutes in. The H-Man. You know you can run. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Being slow in sci-fi movies can sometimes work like an Alien. Yeah, because it brings atmosphere. But if you're so slow that you can't do anything within a half hour, then your movie's gonna lose me. It is like the Blob. Yeah, it's a Japanese version of the Blob, just a different color so that they don't get sued. I think the effect is good. It goes on people and absorbs their body. That is something different, just like in the Blob. Except in the Blob, the main characters are young people, like in their 20s, pretending to be teenagers. Because in the remake of the Blob, it's more like a monster movie. Because the Blob doesn't just absorb people; it grabs people in the face and can stretch out their bodies and squish them. A ghost ship. Arigato. Yeah, these movies are classics, man. Even their lesser known movies, I still think they put the effort into it. That's why Toho's still around to this day. Yeah, that was a flashback, but it was an important flashback so you could see the effects and what the creature looks like, the gooey creature. I think the effects still hold up for this movie being over 50 years old. It's actually over 60 years old because in 2028 it'll be uh 70 years, I believe. Yeah. Plus, I like these actors from the Toho movies, so. Mikey Biochemical Research Laboratory. And H-bomb tests in the Pacific, of course, just like in the original Godzilla. Exposing a frog to strong radiation. Yeah. Real frogs. Yeah, there's no CGI in this movie because it didn't exist yet. And this does not need to be remade. They already remade the Blob in the 80s, so this would be too slow for American audiences. Especially that's why a movie like this doesn't get re-released. Maybe once in the Alamo Drafthouse, but it's not a mainstream type of film like the original Godzilla or Rodan or Mothra. It's very slow for a movie. I mean, in 32 minutes you finally see the creature, and for some people that's going to be too long. I thought it was fine. I've seen way slower movies than this. Like The Bubble from 2005 was so boring. I was like, oh my god, just please something happen. That movie was misleading because they had a bunch of dolls on the cover, and there's no dolls in the movie. They're not even the main focus of the film. It's just a boring drama. There's no spectacle in it whatsoever. Don't worry, no animals were harmed in this movie. My foot, it fell asleep. First podcast of 2025, and my foot falls asleep. My left foot, because I can't do these podcasts standing up. Because while this movie's not that long, I like lying down or sitting down. Got hair all over my pants. Mostly my dog's hair or my mom's hair. Let me lie down. Hopefully my foot won't fall asleep again. Right. Sorry about that. A scientist and a policeman. My mom's birthday is January 3rd. Well, wish her a happy birthday for me. That's in 2 days. Yeah, the body decomposed. That's what I meant. A clean slate. That's what this year's going to be for me. A clean slate. Plus, this isn't overly long like uh, Wicked Part 1. Like 2 hours and 40 minutes. That's a lot to ask. That's why it's not going to make a billion because it's just too long. Movies that long have to have a reason to be that long. Like Endgame. Or even The Dark Knight Rises, which I think could have been shorter. That movie did not need to be 2 hours and 40 some minutes. They could have cut like 5 characters out of the movie and it would not affect the plot at all. 41 minutes in now. It's too bad this didn't have a commentary because Battle in Outer Space did. That's also a pretty like okay, decent film from the 50s. Because I didn't see that one as a kid because they never had it on VHS. Some kids are playing with. Yeah, there's no kids in this movie, which is a huge plus because there's a lot of Ultra Q episodes focus on kids and they couldn't carry an episode. Mainly because they're so young and there's only so much you can do with kids as main characters in a Japanese show or movie. They should really focus on the adults and, the monsters, if there are monsters. Domo or arigato, that's two ways of saying thank you in Japanese. I've never been to that country, but hopefully this will be the year I get a passport and I could go to Japan or Canada or something like that. But I'm going to wait till the spring. I don't like traveling in the winter too much because it can snow and that delays flights and cancels flights and you're screwed. Especially yesterday when it was raining a lot. Probably a bunch of flights got canceled or delayed. I don't like delays. I don't. Even in public transportation, when the buses or the trains are delayed, it causes a strain on you. Time is of the essence this year. Yep, another dead body. Yeah, I saw a life preserver yesterday. I threw it away because it was destroyed. And some guy tried to stop me. I'm like, dude, it's not a. It doesn't. There wasn't a no trespassing sign there. I know how to read. I'm not illiterate. I just can't read signs in another language because that's just not me. But in plain English, I can read it. No trespassing, no parking. You have to have a valid ID. I know how to read. No soliciting and all that. I know how to read laws. That's why I never got arrested in my life. There's the girl again. This music is really good. I think it's a Fuka-based score because he worked with Tsuburaya a lot and Ishiro Honda. I guess this doesn't bore me because I sat through so many Ultra Q episodes last year on 2B, and I'm like, why isn't anything happening? It's just people explaining things. The monsters are secondary characters. It's supposed to be a monster show, and they're barely in it. And when they finally show up, I'm like, yeah, that's a breath of fresh air, but still, I wanted more of that monster action. not explanations. We're 46 minutes in. People have dissolved and died, yeah, because of the H-Men. So glad it's January, because even though January is a very long month and there's nothing in the theater, I have plenty of things to stream and watch on my DVD player. Because, last January I had to go to the theater. I'm not doing that this time. It's too cold. February I'll go because it's a shorter month this year because it's not 29 days, it's 28. And then March, winter is over, so I hope it snows this winter. I really needed one big snowfall. It's not going to be today. It's a bright sunny day. See the sun? The movie's almost over. It's like halfway through. Because Running Scared was way more darker than this, and it's really bleak. What happens to Paul Walker and his family, and it's way more violent than this movie. This movie doesn't have gore or anything like that, or f bombs galore, because it was the 50s. This year, I'm not going to listen to the critics because I'm like, what do they know? They're going to be reviewing movies this month, like Den of Thieves 2 and that movie with Kiki Palmer that's coming out in a few weeks. There's nothing good. January really is the dump month for movies. Most of the time, there's just like one or two gems in there out of like 50 movies that suck in the theaters. Just saying. Another club scene. They probably could, this actress probably couldn't sing really well, so they had to dub her over. But I get it. It was the 50s. Not everybody was a singer back then. The songs are fine in the movie. They don't feel out of place. Like in Falia Doof, they think songs mean substance. No, there has to be a rhyme and reason to put a song in a movie, whether it's a musical or not. Just saying, guys. Songs just can't come out of nowhere. Then that's stupid. I'm like, what? Why are they singing? They're in a club. What do you think people do in a club? They dance, sing, and drink, and be merry. That's what people were doing yesterday on New Year's Eve. It's too bad that most of the people that worked on these movies passed away a long time ago. Tsuburaya, Akihiro, Ichiro Honda, Akira Fukabe, he passed away a long time ago. Tomonui Tanaki, he also passed away years ago. So yeah, Gold Bikini. She's absolutely gorgeous. If Naya Damison did a scene like this, Josh, 52 minutes into the movie, you would understand why I'm so attracted to her. I'm already attracted to her, but this was exotic dancing back in the 50s. Smoking is bad for you people. That's why I don't do it. If that guy's hammered. See, it's not gratuitous. In Japan, this is art. People are just overly sensitive to everything now. Even in this new year. Just enjoy the ride, you know? It's really not that hard. I saw Sonic 3. Yeah, I love it. I can't wait till it's on Blu-ray this year. Of course, I'll have to get it on Amazon because there's no way I could find that movie at Target or Best Buy. They don't sell movies anymore. They're forcing people to buy things online. That's why I have to do so many surveys just to get enough cards to buy stuff. I'm doing a lot of them in January because I need some more stuff in 2025. I gotta buy my sister a birthday present in a few weeks. hmm In 4 weeks from tomorrow. It's more of a crime film, like a sci-fi crime film. It's not a drama. It's not really a kaiju movie. The performances are fine. There's no bad acting here. It's shot well. The effects are good for the time. It's just a little bit slow. That's the biggest problem with the movie. The pacing is a bit slow. It's not too slow, because I think this movie would just be boring if it was 2.5 hours. But at 78 minutes, it's nice and short. So it's you have to sit there, but you don't have to sit there long. Like the original Godzilla is only 95 minutes. It's not 2.5 hours. You don't need to bore us to death. The music is kicking. Music is interesting. I think the performances of this movie are fine. Yeah, they are. They're not Oscar worthy, but the movie's not pretentious. It's not saying, look how awesome this shot is. It's not Birdman, where I was just bored out of my mind after time. When Keaton wasn't on screen, I'm like, it's just people talking in front of a camera. From behind the scenes of this play that they're doing. The play was good, well acted and everything, but it's just too long. There's the H man. He has to come back. I mean, he's been gone since that flashback scene. The Blob is a better movie, though. If you have to choose between this and the original Blob, choose the Blob. I saw that in the theater a few years ago, and I'm like, it still holds up. It's very campy, but the original is a good movie. There's a reason they do Blobfest every year, except when COVID hit, because nobody could be outside. There he is. Get him, hair gel. You can't kill it. There it is. And compared to some of the bad CG I sat through last year, this looks Oscar worthy. These effects. It's not going to work. Even the suit that they're using, it looks good because they put it in this projected light. It looks like it's there. Time to absorb you. That's basically like the absorbing man in Marvel. When he touches something, he could absorb the power. That is a really good effect. For 1958. Oh no, I'm leaking hair gel. Again, run. And he got her. The third act definitely makes up for the first act being slow. Wow. See, Super Ryan knew how to do good effects in everything he did. From the original Godzilla all the way to the 70s. He knew what he was doing. This man was like the Ray Harryhausen of Japan. Because some of the Godzilla movies suffered after he left. When he passed away. Some of the effects, some of them were good, and some of the CGI was just iffy in the 90s and the early 2000s, to say the least. Mainly in like Godzilla 2000 and Godzilla vs. Megaguirus. Some of the effects are bad. Not the suit actors or the practical effects, but some of the CG is rough. In Godzilla Final Wars, it doesn't bother me because it's a big celebration of Godzilla, so there is CGI and practical effects. But in some of the later, in some of the ones before that, yeah, some of the CG is rough. Again, run. This thing isn't very fast. Like, let me just stare at it. I wish I could do the original Blob, but I would have to stream it because the DVD is out of print and it's impossible to find in the wild. Again, bullets don't do anything. The smog monster is similar to this creature, except that doesn't absorb people. It absorbs the pollution in the air. That Asian girl in the pink dress is cute. Yeah, get these people out of there. They get absorbed. Those are extras. Again, you can't hit him. That's a really good effect. This is before Sam Raimi did the Evil Dead movies, where it also had really good practical effects. And that was like 30 years after this, because it was in the early 80s. That is a really good effect, man. The Blob remake did some cool effects like this, too. Can effects carry a movie? No, but when you use them properly, they can really get you invested. I'm like, wow, look at all that work. Some people will say this is cheap. I'm like, hey, this is all they could do for the 50s, guys. There was no CGI back then. It's almost 1 o'clock. Yeah, we're an hour in, so the movie's almost over. This went pretty fast, all things considered. There it is. Get away from it, hair gel. You saw what's on the floor? All the girls' undergarments and jewelry gone. At least this has some spectacle in it, and good music and decent camera work and writing. It's just the pacing that's a little bit off. Oh no, that guy's suit. You cheetah. Strange killings in Kikuchi. Liquid monster. Yeah. That's pretty much it, yeah. The creature doesn't have a face. It's just a blob, but it could take a humanoid form. The blob couldn't do that in the original. It was just jelly that was good absorbing people. Look at that jar. Brandon hasn't done this movie yet, or the original, Battle in Outer Space on his channel. Brandon's Cult Movies. Yeah, he missed this one. He'll probably review it this year in 2025. The frog is transported to a completely different liquid organism. I know. Radioactivity from the H-bomb test. Yeah, that's always a problem. In the 50s, that was a big plot point for most movies that came out. This and the original Godzilla and The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms, which I saw in the theater. So, but there's nothing coming out like that at the film forum. So, I can wait till spring. If they have a kaiju movie, I'll go see it, like the original Rodan or something. I don't have the original Rodan. I have to get it. It's in a double bill with War of the Gargantuas. H-Man, yeah. They finally name it 64 minutes into the movie. The H-Man appears. H-bomb creates another type of human. Again, that wouldn't happen today because, one blast of radioactivity on your body, you're dead. Because you can't handle it. The human body can't handle nuclear radiation. That's why they don't sell plutonium in a drugstore like they did in Back to the Future. It said, I'm sure in 1985 plutonium's available in every corner drugstore. No, it's not. They do not sell any prescriptions in the world that have a radioactivity because it's illegal. It's dangerous. So far, my 2025 it was a little bit stressful last night because, my dog was scratching the door being afraid of the fireworks. But they're not going to shoot fireworks today, so I'm happy about that. And there's no fireworks in this movie, so. 66 minutes in. There's about 12 minutes left, more or less. I don't mind seeing a subtitle movie or two every week because, again, there's no accents. You don't have a Japanese man speaking in a British accent or something like in Exo Kitty, where I'm like, I thought the show was South Korean. Why are there people with Australian and British accents in a South Korean school? That doesn't make any sense. There ain't no Australians in South Korea. You could barely have white people there. Imagine Australians or Brits in South Korea. How did they get past the border? I don't even know. That doesn't make any sense to me. China at least is close to the UK, but not Japan or South Korea. The new era of my life starts on January 5th, 2025, in 4 days. I'll eventually do the original Mothra for like the month of May for Asian month. See, the original Mothra, because I don't want to do Mothra this month. Mainly because in the original Mothra, there's some white people in it. It's strange. I could wait. I'll just do, I just did this one, so Battle in Outer Space, I could save that for some other time as well. I want to do the Gamera movies. At least two of them. Look at that Joker smiling. Is that, the H-Man himself? Did Fukabe do the music for this movie? It doesn't say. No, I don't. It doesn't say. Because this box, the lettering is so small. See, look. See how small that is? It's hard to read it, especially in a poorly lit room like this. Hopefully, this is the year my dad fixes this electricity in my room, because I don't want to be without light for another year. It's been 2 years already, and I need electricity. I'm glad I rewatched this movie. It's been a long time, and it's decent at best. Like 3 stars out of 5 on Letterboxd for me. It's just a little bit too slow. That in the beginning, the first 30 minutes are kind of slow. But when if you stick with the if you stick the landing and you stay till the end, you'll be entertained for the short running time. At least there's that. Alien Romulus is way longer than this. It's almost 2 hours, I think. Yeah, this is not. Because they have the running time here, but it's all smushed together. See, English runtime 259 minutes for all three films, and the Japanese runtime is 277. Because again, the Japanese version. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of blood here, just in the third act. It's not gore spilling on the floor like in Running Scared. That was an intense movie to end the year on for a podcast. Yep, the villagers are fleeing. Even though it's not a giant monster attacking, it's just, the Japanese absorbing man, aka the Blob. At least this movie has a budget. It's not too cheap. Because there's movies from the 50s that they're so cheap that they don't even have a budget. Was Robot Monster in the 50s or was that the 40s? I forgot. But that was a cheap movie, and it's one of the worst movies ever made for a reason. It's a guy in a gorilla suit with a helmet on. That's not much of a threat. This thing at least can absorb people. So even though it looks like hair gel, it's dangerous. There's still a threatening presence to it. At least these scenes have atmosphere. They're under in the sewers. There's water everywhere. It's like in the original Rodan when the miners go in the mine and they see those giant bugs. Mm-hmm. 71 minutes in. Ha 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 ha. There it is. Some movies are slow. Even the original Species, it has a slow start of it, but when Syl turns into the creature and she's an adult, then the movie really get kicks into gear. Because when she's a little girl, she's not killing people brutally mostly, and she's not killing men. Because I'm done with seeing Christmas movies for a while. Because I saw so many in November and December. There was like a Christmas movie every week on Hallmark. Now they're just giving the remaining ones, and then they're going to take a break. Because a lot of Miyazaki's movies, well, Miyazaki and Ishiro Honda, his movies are on streaming. But I didn't want to stream this because on Tubi there's ads and you can't skip them. So I'm like, okay, I'll just watch it on DVD if I have it. And I do. There it is. Absorb. Absorb. It also looks like Flubber. When it's green, it looks like Flubber, which is also based on the Blob because Flubber was alive, but it didn't absorb people like this thing. Because hell, Christopher McDonald swallowed the Flubber and it didn't kill him. It made him faint, but it's not. Yeah, she's the main girl of the movie, Miss Arai. Or Araya. I don't know how to say her last name. It's Arai. Most of their names end with like a vowel. An A, an I, a U, or an O. Yeah, they usually. Most of their names don't end with like a consonant because it's Japan. They like using their vowels a lot. Like an episode of Wheel of Fortune. It's fine. Like if you've never seen this movie, I would recommend watching it. It's on Tubi for free, so you won't have to pay a lot of money to get it on this DVD set. Even though it's worth it, it is worth it for the other two films. I got this on my birthday a couple years ago because I wanted to see Battle in Outer Space. $75 minutes. This is fun, guys. Thanks for joining me in the chat. I'm glad the year started off strong so far. I slept a lot better than last year, so because I was so tired, I couldn't. I was gonna sleep at 5 in the morning, but my body was like, nope, gotta sleep now. So I slept around 2 or 3 in the morning instead, and I ate raisins. CA. Chicago, yeah. This is the third act finale, so we're almost done. It's 1 o'clock already, 1:08. Masada. Mitsubishi Super Gallon. Super Gasoline. Here comes that triumphant music. They're gonna blow it up with gasoline. There were no electrical cars back in 1958, so not even in Japan. I could take this hat off for now, so I wore it for most of the movie, so give my head a break. I don't want to get a headache. That music sounds like Clash of the Titans. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, burn. Mm-hmm. Flame on. Yeah, this movie's about 80 minutes long. I started a minute ahead because I started the podcast at 12, I think. Yeah, well, like 11:40 something. But it's not 2 hours, I promise. It's not. And I didn't pause the movie or anything. You know that a running time is an approximate. Oh no! It's absorbing him. Again, the effects are really good in the film. It's not boring. Like an Ultra Q episode is way worse than this. I would recommend just watching the first 5 episodes of that and then just quit because there's 20 something episodes and a lot of them are very slow and painful. And the monsters don't do anything. Most of the time they're just on screen for a very limited time. Masada. She's in her underwear. It is a good effect. And I don't think the blob was in the sewer in the original. I'm still gonna check the Alamo Draft House for the in the winter and spring to see if they're gonna re-release something I'm interested in seeing. Something in Japanese, possibly, because I haven't seen a Japanese movie there. The film forum, I saw the original Godzilla, so mission accomplished there. There goes the flames. They're spreading. They got her out, so at least she didn't die. It's not a downbeat ending like Rogue One. Fire! Flame on! At least they're using a different weapon instead of just tanks and planes, like in the original Godzilla. Flamethrowers. They rarely use those in the Godzilla films. When both of them die, they burn in a volcano. It's not because of flamethrowers or gasoline. That's a really good effect. Got two H-men there absorbed. There's two of them. I guess because it's spread around. It's almost done. It's still a much shorter movie than Running Scared, so that was 1 hour and 53 minutes. Pretty long. Yeah, because gasoline is flammable. It'll blow up. That's where affiliations go to die, in a wall of flames. This is fun to rewatch. I hadn't seen it in many years. I saw this movie on TCM of all places many years ago, back in I think in the 2010s. Because again, I had TCM for a long time, and it's good to watch it every now and then. They give movies that would never be censored on a stream. They're never censored. All the movies that they give are in the raw. They do not cut them for time on TV or streamed, and they don't cut it for content. They show you the exact film that was made, which is the way it should be, because I don't like when films are cut. You know, when they're censored or they have to like cut a scene out for no reason, you know, or shorten a scene on streaming. You know what you're doing, Paramount Plus and Netflix. You don't even have the full season of a show. You have or a full series. You got episodes that are missing and edited down. Why would I want to watch that? None of these movies are edited down. None of them. The Japanese versions are intact and they're the full movie. There's no cuts out of nowhere. There it is. Flames all over the place. If the Earth were covered in radioactive fallout and humanity face extinction, the next species to rule the Earth could be very well the H-Man. So that was the H-Man from 1958. 86 minutes long. So yeah, it's a little bit longer than I expected. Good job, Toho. 86 minutes. That was a breeze to get through. That was a lot of fun, and there's no end credits because it's a Japanese movie. It just ends. In American movies, we always have the Marvel stinger or what's coming next. No, back then it was just End credits, movie's over. You don't have to stretch it out any longer because a lot of movies do that today. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. My first podcast of 2025. Hopefully, this is my year because last year was not. But thanks for watching. Acknowledge me. I'll see you guys in the next one.